Ghana Weep Bong, and welcome back to my channel where we talk about all things Transformers and Transformers action figure related. And today on my channel, very sad news, I guess, because this is actually the last time we're probably going to take a look at an Earthrise figure, as we have now moved into Kingdom, and there's only really Thrust from Earthrise that I want to get, or the Coneheads pack, and getting those in the UK is currently not happening, so this may in fact be the last time we ever look at an Earthrise figure singularly. I may have a breakdown of the rest of them to come, but this is the last time we may look at an Earthrise figure. And today we're going to take a look at Fasttrack. So Fasttrack is one of the weaponizer vehicles and is also accessories for Scorponok, which is why we're going to start to look at him in robot mode first instead of his vehicle mode. We usually look at him in his vehicle mode first. We're going to look at him as his robot mode first. Also, Fasttrack is not a new character. So he actually appears in Super God Master Force in the episode Crisis, the Downfall of Humanity. He's one of many, and actually this is very cartoon accurate compared to the version that we saw there. So it's taken a long time to actually get this character, but it's there and it's very toon accurate. As we always do on this channel, let's take a look at the packaging, and on the front we have Decepticon Fasttrack. Here on the front is what it says, and then we have Earthrise Transformers +8 Transformers, Authentic Transformers Takara. On the top we have the Decepticon logo, and we also have the Galvatron that we now have seen in the cartoon, but we still haven't seen a figure for. Then on the side, beautiful, lovely Earthrise artwork. On back, I'm not going to say he transforms in 10 steps. He pulls apart like Lego and goes back together. Forget the steps, but you get multiple pictures here of what he can turn into, and he can actually turn into the spear, which is how I will probably have this dude displayed. He can be weaponized into multitude of things, and he also turns into his little figure dude thing at the back. And here we get told, don't eat our children because they have small parts. And then at the side here we have really nice artwork with the new Arc Titan in the background as well. Can't wait for that figure, super hyped for it. Box is really nice, really nice. And then inside we get the instructions show how to pull him apart and the best ways to put him back together again. So box over, let's take a look at the main event himself, and we can see in his bot mode here he looks pretty damn nice actually for a weaponizer. Anyone who saw my review of Ironworks knows that I'm not actually a big fan of these, but if you have a look at the original manga drawing here, and we can see that this dude is really close to the original G1 vision for this figure. So they've done a really good job here. Both versions very similar to what they should have been. So let's take a closer look at him. He has got a very nice head sculpt. I actually really like this head sculpt here. Nice red visor, very simple. I'm a big fan of people who have the kind of face plates on them, people like Straxus, Prime. Big fan of that kind of head sculpt. So yeah, looks really cool. The chest is like a really nice different shade of blue here. It's not quite a teal, but it is a very nice blue. He has these nice orange wheels, looking a little bit cheap on the side here. I really do wish that Hasbro would go back to the world of filling in this middle bit, but unfortunately they're not. Around the back is fairly smooth. He has a backpack, but it's you know, it can come off if you want it to come off, so everything comes apart on this figure. Then the guns, obviously they look nice. He's got quite a lot of molded detailing, and I think he, you know, in this mode I think he actually looks pretty nice. Accessories he comes with he is one big accessory, so we'll go through those as we go through. Articulation on this figure, you're only going to get a 360 on the head. He doesn't do any up and downs. You can get a full 360 on the arm. He also has his arm joint that goes up and down, and you can get a full twist at the elbow, and then his arm will also bend to a 90-degree angle, but no more, and you'll get some articulation in his hands. From his hips, you'll get some hip swivel here, so you get a full 360 but no up and down. The legs will move really well to the back, front, and we can get a side kick. Nice overextension on the knee bend due to the transformation, what there is of it, and then we can also get some toe articulation here and some toe articulation to the side as well. So he is actually, you know, for a weaponizer and stuff, he is actually super posable, and not a bad looking bot mode. He is a weaponizer, so that means that we can take this piece off here. We can give him double bubble guns if we want him to on his hands. We can give him double bubble guns on his shoulder pads if we want. So you can kind of move this guy around how you want. You can take his sword device thing from his leg and you can stick it in his hand. So you can get... Oh, his arm's falling off. Always a danger with a weaponizer. You can get some different looks out of this guy however you want. You know, you can add different weapons to him. You can do all kinds of things. So yeah, he's got some good play value. Time for a comparison, and let's compare him to this pile of junk first. Compare him to Ironworks, and I think overall this dude is much better than Ironworks in this. You know, Ironworks has always molded crap on his hand, no articulation here, nothing really is as posable, his head is not as good, he falls apart a lot easier. I hate this thing, I really do. So as a figure, certainly in this mode, I think he stands up a lot better than Ironworks. I just hate this guy. Comparing him also then to your G2 Earthrise Megs, we can see here that, yeah, you know, he's a lot smaller than a Megatron, which is okay, because he is only the Deluxe class, but for a Deluxe, he is a very small Deluxe class. And then finally, comparing him to his Lord and Master, we can see that he is much smaller than big old Scorponok, which is right. So next up is the transformation, and really it's not really a transformation, it's just a matter of take everything apart to its like lesser sections, if you like. There's no moving bits that are going to kind of move around. So you pull this piece out and then you'll be left with all of these. All those sections there we go, good place to start. So for my first trick, we will turn him into what a weaponizer is. A weaponizer! So we're going to turn him into the weapon kind of mode, and the way that you do that, first of all, you get this section here, which is like the main just chest area, and you add that back to this section so they just plug together like so. And then what we need to do is we need to ensure that we have the wheels on the wrong way around. We need to ensure that we have the wheels on the inside with the ability to tilt like that, and then we can move this piece around so that we have the wheels like this. Make sure you've got the leg pieces sticking up, and then you're going to stick the guns onto here. Like, nope, wrong one. The guns on there, and then the other gun, you're going to stick that on there. Now this should form a backpack then, and you just tilt this section here and you tilt this section here, and it forms a backpack for the figures. Now unfortunately, I'll show you the destructions for this one. If it's run amok. Now I thought, oh, okay, just run amok then. No, I thought, okay, maybe not just run amok, maybe it'll fit with any. It seems to only really work with run amok, and I'll show you why. Because you need to have one, you need to have a port here. I'm going to use Mirage as a stand-in for run amok. And what we do here is get him, and then there's a little port in the back, and this should fit in. Now on run amok, he has the big section at the back. This piece here is a little tricky. Now for run amok, he has the big piece at the back that stops this from happening, but with every other figure, you're just gonna get, whoop, you're gonna get this, because they haven't got that big piece that run amok's got. Hasbro makes weaponizers that work with one figure. I thought the whole idea was that it worked with every figure. Now there is a way around this. All I've done is just take this off, undo this section here, and just pull this off. And then you can use these ports then that are a lot sturdier, and use these feet that are also a lot sturdier. And then you'll get the same kind of look as you were going to get with that, but the section will actually hold in place. So I would go with that. If you're doing any other figure, just use that section there if you really want to get that look. I mean, it looks okay, but yeah, disappointing. When you're in this mode as well, the other thing that you can do is open this section up and stick this as a kind of blade for his arm. You just have to make sure everything tabs together, and then you've got a blade for his arm. Obviously for Mirage, it's not going to work as well as run amok. So you can have it as a shoulder piece or something there, but yeah, this is not the best mode, maybe not even the best figure to use this on. It is specifically designed for run amok, unfortunately. So transformation time again, and what we're going to do is pull everything to pieces again. So we remove this section here, remove this section here, remove this section here, and remove this section here. Now we can turn him into his car mode. So for the car or the buggy mode, we're going to start off with this section, fold out these two elements here, and then we will grab the feet sections, and then the foot will go there, and then it will just kind of fold in on itself, which is nice, and then fold in. Oh look, it's doing some transforming. That's the closest we're going to get to a transformation there, I guess. So now that those two sections are in, make sure that these two bits kind of clamp down to hold everything together. There's little tabs on the front here, if it will hold together at all, that is. And then I'm sure it will at some point. Then what we do is we add the arms back here to this section here, and to this section here, with the two hand cannons on as they were before. Then taking the body, you're going to swivel the head round and maneuver the arms back like so, and then take this section, and this section will just connect in there, and then the whole thing just connects down onto this here. So just connects on, it's these tabs here, here, and here, and here, so it's easier to just put it onto the back. First, make sure it's all tabbed in there, and then tab in the front. And then you'll have your Fasttrack in his little cannon buggy mode. You can also add this section in here onto here. It's got a little circular tab where you can just add that in. Done. So a closer look now at Fasttrack's buggy mode, and you know what, it's a really nice looking buggy mode. Again, very cartoon accurate and manga accurate to how it was in the Japanese cartoons. So yeah, I'm all for it. I just wish it actually transformed instead of having this crappy weaponizer idea. I just wish it fully transformed from that mode to this mode a little bit easier, but all in all, it's not too bad. I mean, I don't like these wheels though. That is definitely the weakest point. It tabs together quite nicely, quite well, and you do get a lot of molded detail, and I really do like this kind of shiny bluey greeny color here on the front, and of course the greys and the orange going together, really cool as well. Molded detailing as we go through, not too much paint, just this little bit here, but just enough to set it off. The back looks pretty nice as well, with this kind of shiny metally color going through there, which is pretty cool. Articulation on this figure, you can maneuver the cannons around again, just like it did in the episode that it featured in, and then move and move. And then also an added feature you can do, you can bring this around the back and place that there, so that your Titan Masters, Zarak can go round, or Scorponok, whichever one you want, and he can just kind of chill out and sit at the back. He looks a little bit far away, but he can just sit on the back and chill. Pretty cool. So for another comparison next to another tank-like thing, here's the G2 version of the Earthrise Megatron. So you can see here, yeah, there's a big difference. Obviously this dude is Deluxe, but as I keep saying, he is very small even for a Deluxe. And then again, all importantly, next to his Lord and Master Scorponok, we can see that he is teeny tiny compared to his Lord and Master. Final transformation on this dude, then what we're going to do is turn him into the way that I certainly plan on displaying him, which was the reason I wanted him, and that's turning him into his spear mode. So first thing we'll do is, again, let's take him back to all of his base components again, and we'll just crack on from there. Little Lego dude that he is. Come on, you can come off. Oh, untab this and then unhook that from there. Oh no, this works. So this section here, you can actually, we don't need to take this down to its base component section. We can just keep this like this and like this, and then we can just fold the feet in on itself, and then that will create this top looking piece of the spear. So you can see how the whole thing is going to kind of fit together here. Then next up, we'll take this piece and open this piece here. This piece will then fit snugly. If we open up the little tootsies here, will fit snugly into this section. So we can see that the spear is really starting to build up now, and then we can put the spike in the top. Now the spike's actually pretty cool because it's not got just those, but it's got the other two tabs as well that just fit in there. That's quite nice, pretty cool. So then we've got the start, and it's starting to look speary, right? It's starting to look very speary now. Then all we do is we plug this port into here, and we plug this port, swivel the arm, into here, and then we have our rather cool looking spear. You just have to, yeah, you're starting to see the challenges with the spear already. So this is the spear. This is, for me, this is the final form, I guess, because this is how I really do plan on displaying Fasttrack. It's a shame that the spear doesn't include everything, so you do get left with this torso for you to, I don't know, try and use with some other weaponizers if possible. So that's a bit of a shame to start with, but here up, fantastic, well done. But why would you put what needs to be the most secure section where all of the weak points are? So you can't quite get the look that you want, because if you want it to have all of these bits here so that it looks kind of like each other, you can see them, it's bending, or it goes the other way, and you've got this kind of scorpion looking spear here. Also, you know, this joint going into this joint, so it's not quite got all of the strength that you need really from this to put it in all the correct bit. It does look pretty good though, but yeah, just a shame that it's not going to be able to be quite as posable as I was hoping, because obviously if I hand it in a certain way, it's going to do that. Okay, so bringing his Lord and Master Scorponok back into the equation, all you need to do to put it in Scorponok's hand is put it there and then close the pincers down, move the hands out, lock it in and close them down. Now you can see it's a little bit bendy, so I'm going to have to just twist it around, and he's got to really grip it like this really to be able to get a decent look on it. If I try and grip it here, maybe if I can, it has to be around a fat bit like that. That's the yeah, it's not the best. You're not going to be, oh good lord, hips giving way. Yeah, it's not really gripping the way that I wanted it to grip at all, really. It's a shame. There we go. I think that's probably the best that I'm going to get out of it. If I move the camera around here, so this is pretty much the best that I can get out of it. Still looks a little bit bendy, a little bit bent. Yeah. So time for my final thoughts on Fasttrack. Would I recommend you pick up this guy? I have to say that I'm not in the position I thought I was going to be in, because I really wanted to display him in this, but I think it's just too loose around this area. You can see the spear looks bent. I can't really see any kind of way to remedy it too much, because you're very limited with how you can grip it and what you can do with certain things. So for me, I wanted it for this mode. I wouldn't recommend the spear for this mode because it doesn't actually look as good as I hoped. The bot mode, I think, is actually the strongest mode out of all of them. When I think about something like Ironworks, I definitely don't like Ironworks. I definitely think that the bot is the strongest mode, with the buggy being the second strongest. I think that the actual weaponized version here, the weaponizer backpack, is awful. That only really works with one. So I think, unfortunately, yet again, I'm going to have to say no. I couldn't recommend this, which is the second weaponizer that I've now thought about, that I've now picked up, and can't recommend that you pick up, because for me, again, it doesn't do the job that I wanted it to do. Let me know your thoughts on this down in the comments. Have you found a way to be able to position this correctly without having him want to be a big droopy old spear? Ah dear. In a bit. Peace.